Hi everyone! Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be doing something very cute. We are going to be doing beach-inspired nails. So since it's winter right now for most of the world and I really can't go on vacation to the beach and enjoy the sand, I wanted to have the happiness of the vacation on my hands, and I wanted to do something inspired by the vibes that you get on the beach and in the summer, and I wanted to do something like that on my nails. So if you like that idea, join me in today's video and I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get to it! So as usual, I'm going to pop out my sketch over here on the side, and we're going to have a few different types of nails, and I have my sketch for myself here on the side. So we're going to have an aquarium nail, we're going to have textured nails, and this is my first time doing textured nails, and we're going to have some pearlescent nails, we're going to have some 3D art, and it's really just gonna be so cute and so warm. I hope that when you're watching this video, you can experience a vacation even though you're not actually on vacation, unless you are, so I'm jealous of that. And I just wanted to come in quickly and say a few words about the sketch, and now we can get to it. Okay, so for the first step, I already sized out my tips and I'm going to remove this little nut at the end where it comes off the form, but that is not necessary for you guys to see. So for the first step, I am going to paint all of the base colors, and I am going to be doing 10 nails today, so I have my work cut out for me. So let me first paint all of the base colors. Okay, so now that I've done all of the base colors, I'm going to start off on the thumb with our aquarium nail. So I have some blue colors on the side here. I have different shades of green and blue that you can find underwater. And I'm going to kind of layer them on here because I do want a water effect under the aquarium nail before I add the top nail. So I do want to have like a cute background before. So I'm going to be using this brush. I'm going to go from darker to lighter. So I guess I should start off with this color, and it has like a shift to it, like a color shift to it from blue to green. So I thought it would be very fitting for today's video. So let me just grab some of my brush, and how I'm going to do this is by just dragging some of it on the nail just to add some color shift. Instead of just having this dark blue background, I'm going to add some color shift and variation. So what's your guys' favorite memory of going on vacation? Like, do you have any favorite memory? I think mine was when I was really young, and it was nice not to have any worries and responsibilities when you're that young, and you can just focus on your vacation and having fun. But now you know that when you come back from vacation, you have your real life waiting for you, so it's also enjoyable. It's still enjoyable to go on vacation now, but you know, there is a big difference for me. Okay, let's move on to this color, and I'm going to be using the same brush without cleaning it, just to allow the colors to mix a little bit. And I'm going to just be adding some color variations, and I'm trying to have it like this texture, like this stipply texture, to add some texture to the water underneath. You know, you guys, usually I am a winter person. I love the winter and I love dressing up for the winter. I love cold weather and I love drinking warm beverages, especially cocoa or tea in the winter. But sometimes I do miss the sun, I do miss the warmth, and I do miss not having sunset at like 5 p.m. or something, because I feel like the day is over so quickly and I don't get to do much during the day. So I have to wake up extra early to substitute the time that is lost at night. Okay, I'm going in with this greenish shifty color, and I'm not gonna add too much of it because I feel like this is too green to be dominating. So I'm just gonna add some highlights on the nail here and there just to bring different colors into this nail. So I do want to go in with my original color at first, the one that I used for the base, and kind of bring back some darkness into this nail. Not too much much though, because I do want it to be mostly light. And what I want to do now is grab the slightest color with my thin brush. You know when you have like ripples underwater? Kind of want to emulate that. Something like this, and I'm quite happy with how that looks. So I'm going to top coat it before I do anything relating to the aquarium nail, because I can't have oil in there with no top coat, and I do want to seal everything in. So how I'm going to do the aquarium nail is to add this other nail tip on top, and you can kind of see how there's an empty gap between the top tip and the bottom tip. This space is going to have our aquarium in it, and I'm going to try to stick it as far up as possible. Maybe I can curve this more, because the bigger the curve that you have, the bigger the aquarium nail that you can get. So let me try that again. Yeah, you guys see what I mean? It has so much space up top. So, and okay, I want to tell you guys something. If you are doing aquarium nails, they are going to be bulkier than usual nails, just because you are filling your nails with something. So take that into account. And I'm going to try and reduce the bulk as much as possible while keeping the nail still functional. So basically this is what it's going to look like. And I'm just going to glue around it with some gel so it can be stable on there. Okay, so I sealed off every single piece around the top nail, and I tested it with water. I added some water through this little hole at the top. Do try filling it with water before adding any oil in there, because water is easier to clean off, but oil is a bit harder and it's gonna make everything slippery. So make sure that you test how sealed the nail is. And I kind of tried to smooth around the border of the nail, but I think I might have to go in with some more gel or some more, like a bit of a thicker top coat. And now we can add some cool stuff inside. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm not quite sure how much I can fit through this hole, because I didn't really make it that big. I don't know if you guys can see it, like it's quite small. I'm gonna try with some of these mermaid pearls, and I'm going to try. Okay, everything's still. I'm gonna try and find the smallest size in there so I can fit it in. Oh, it looks like the smallest size might be a bit too big. Let me actually try it. I grabbed my tweezers and let's get to it. So this is the smallest size. So can it fit in there? Let's try with our pearls. And I do believe that these pearls are also the same size as the mermaid pearls, but I really hope they're a bit smaller. So let's try it out. Okay, I might have put myself in a difficult situation now, because I think I made the hole on top too small. I could have tilted the nail a bit to this side so the hole is a bit more open, but we're going to try one last time with these metal balls, and these look pretty small, so I hope they will fit. Okay, they are going in there, so that's good. The problem is, as soon as I add one and then one bounces off, I can't find it. So, oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, the reason why it looks so blurry is because I blew in the top to dry the nail out when I put water, but it is gonna go away once I add some oil in there. And I also have some holographic glitter.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I might have had a little accident with the glitter, and I might have accidentally spilled both of these, and I might have just put everything into this container. We will ignore that and move on because there is nothing else to do. But I'm going to gently open up the silver glitter, and I'm going to put some in here. I really don't know if anything went in there or not. Actually, I don't think anything went in there. I don't know. I think I'm just spilling everything on my little palette down here, so let me just put everything back here. Okay, so I figured out how to put some oil in there. I just put some oil in the cap itself, and then I used the syringe without the needle to suck up the oil into my syringe itself. So now I put the needle back on and I got out all of the air, and I'm just going to add some oil in there, and I'm not gonna fill it all the way. I do need like a bubble in there so it can move the metal balls that I added. I think that's going to be enough. enough. Oh, the bubble is this big, so I think let me make it a bit smaller. I think that this is an okay sized bubble, so I'm going to wipe the top and seal it off with more gel, but I do have to be careful to not accidentally like tilt it right now, because if I do tilt it, it is going to spill everything. So let me wipe the top off with some acetone, and I'm going to have my gel and UV light on the side. So what you want to do is add some gel on top like so, just to seal it off. It doesn't really matter if it looks messy, just try and seal it off as best to your abilities. And now I'm just gonna cure this so I can see if it's actually leaking or not. I really hope it's not leaking. I don't want to clean up a baby oil mess, because my table already has some stains from the baby oil when I was trying to get it into the syringe. So I really hope this worked and it is sealed. Okay, so there is a bubble in there. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but let's try moving the nail. Okay, some of the balls are like stuck at the bottom. Like you can see these four, they're just stuck at the bottom. So I'm trying to get them to move. They are moving, like some balls are moving, so I'm quite glad with that. And I think I added enough oil and enough balls and enough space for the bubble. So let me turn it over and make sure it's not leaking. And how I test that is use like a dry part of my hand that I'm sure it has no baby oil on. And I'm just putting the nail on top, and it doesn't look like anything's leaking, so I'm really happy with that. So essentially this is the nail all done. I just have to top coat it and kind of smooth these areas, but I will leave it on the side for now while we move on to the next nail. So our next nail is going to have a plaid design on it with some watermelons on top, because we used to have a lot of watermelons in the summer, especially on vacation, so I want to bring back that memory. So this one is going to be quite simple. I'm just going to paint the design on with my brush. I'm going to be using this long thin brush, and I'm going to be using some white, and I'm thinking of using this like pearlescent white. It's kind of like a creamy color to add some variety into this instead of just using a plain white. So this is what the design came out to. I kept it a bit rough in some areas to add that like weathered fabric effect, and I'm really happy with how it looks. So right now I am going to put it on the stand temporarily while I move on to the other base designs, because I do want to keep the charm making at the end of these 5 nails, and I want to make all of the charms together so I can add them on together. So for the middle finger, I have this French tip design with a flower in the middle, and the flower is going to be 3D gel. So I'm going to paint on the French tip right now, and I think in my reference I do have it quite low, so I'm not quite sure if I do want to make it quite high. I think I want to move the French tip a little bit higher so I can have a little bit more space for the flowers. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to be using this pink pretty color to do the French tip, and as usual I'm going back with my thin brush to do the French tip for more accuracy and stability. So I uploaded a video last week for you guys telling you how to do some basic nail designs, and in that video I included a few ways to do French tip, and I really hope you guys liked that video and you found it very informative and helpful. So I'm just going to be using my tip from that video to do this French tip over here. Okay, this is how the French tip turned out, and it looks super cute, and I really love this color. It's so like fresh and summery to me, and I love the color combination of blue, yellow, and pink. So we can move on to the ring finger. So for the ring finger, I have like a spiral design for a shell, and it's going to be pearlescent and full of texture. So I wanted to try doing something different. I got this new nail polish from Amanda, and it has like a jeans texture, like you guys are gonna see when I put it on. I don't know how to show you guys, but you you guys see how it has like little sparkles, and these little sparkles actually leave a little bit of texture on your nails, so it kind of feels like jeans. And I kind of want to do the spiral of the shell with that texture, so I'm gonna be using my thin brush, and I am gonna be doing this with you guys on camera because I do not think I added this design to my previous video, like the basics of nail design video. So I am gonna do it with you guys. And the way I do my spirals is I start off in the middle of the nail, and I kind of like go out and draw a semicircle like so, and then I continue this semicircle over here. You can kind of think of a spiral as many semicircles together. So just keep your brush loaded with some polish and keep rotating your nail, and you don't have to do it in one go. So I'm going to end this over here. So let's connect them both. And it's okay if it looks a little bit rough in the beginning. We can finalize it later, but try and get down the basic shape. And I don't really mind that some areas are thicker than other areas, because I do feel like it'll look cute and it's adding to like the organic design. So it really doesn't matter if you want it like one thickness or if you want it differing thicknesses like I'm doing right now. Okay, I'm realizing that the spiral might not have been centered pretty well, so that's on me. Okay, this is how the spiral came out, and it looks super cute. So now it is time to go in with more detail for the actual shell. And I got a few colors on the side over here to kind of copy the colors that I saw in the shell. And I might add a little bit of purple, but I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna do that now. So let me actually pull it out. Okay, I got this color, and I think I'm also gonna add like another color. I think I'm also gonna add this one. I'm not quite sure about the purple and the pink, so we're gonna see. And I'm gonna be using this brush and this brush to kind of differ the stroke. So first of all, I am gonna use this blue, the base blue, to add some stripes on the spiral that we just added. But I'm not gonna add too much because I don't want to erase the spiral. So let's take it to the side and start. Just like a little bit of stripes to show the texture. And I'm kind of using a busted up brush for this because I feel like it's gonna deposit the color in an interesting way and not just in a solid way. I don't know if that's making sense, but I didn't want the color to go on there and form like a solid stripe. I want it to be kind of like patchy on purpose to kind of give the difference in opacity. And basically I'm just going to be doing this with a lot of different colors to get the design that I want. And I chose this design because I really love shells. I used to collect a lot when I was younger. I used to like just, instead of playing in the water, I used to sit on the beach and collect shells of all different colors and sizes. And I still do that actually. Like I think last year or maybe 2 years ago when I went on vacation, I did sit on the beach and collect shells, and I found some cool ones. They were really cool. I love collecting shells and rock. Wherever I go somewhere new, I like to get a rock, like a small rock from there to remind me of the place. So this is what the nail looks like. I added some 3D gel for some texture on the shell because I found some shells with like textures or like spikes coming out of them, and I wanted to kind of emulate that, and it looks super cute. I don't know, like I really love the colors and I really love the transparent gel on top. And I fully cured this, so we are done with it for now, and I can put it back on the stand. So now I want to move on to the pinky, and for the pinky I have like a textured sand design with some footprints in the sand, and I do have some sand on the side. Like I got some sand, and this is like dry sand, not like soil, and I really want to try something different today to add some texture on the nail. And I really don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I think what I'm gonna do is add some top coat on here. So let me go in with my top coat, and I'm using this one. It's not gel. It says that it's gel, but it's not actually gel. Oh, I hate when this happens to me, and it's so annoying when it happens on camera because it's like, oh, okay, like he chose this moment. But it's okay. I'm just gonna use it because it's like kind of nice and runny, so it will catch as much sand as possible. And then I'm gonna dip my nail in the sand and kind of like wiggle it around. Oh, look at this! It looks super cute. This is exactly what I wanted. Okay, now I just have to make sure it's dry, and I'm gonna try and like remove any big pieces and clean up the sides because I don't want sand to be on my hand. I don't really like the texture texture, and I know that it's gonna annoy me over time, so... But look, you guys, it looks super cute. Oh my god, I'm so happy. I'm just gonna wait for it to dry, for the top coat that I added on the bottom to dry. And I think I want to move on to the middle finger. Oh shit, wait, I wanted to add the... God, I wanted to add the color under the gel. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this off and add the color, and then I'm gonna come right back. This is how the nail came out, and it looks super cute. And I added some gold pearls in the middle to kind of act like the, what's it called, like the stamens of the flower. And I can move on to the pinky to add the footstep. So I did add a second coat of sand, and I added like some little indents in the sand to go in after and like draw in the footprints. And I'm gonna use my dotting tool because I want to dot in the toes and I want to dot in the foot shape itself. And I'm gonna be using this like tiger eye polish, and I'm gonna do like the one finger. Okay, actually I might need more. So one toe. Actually, let me switch over to a small brush quickly. I'm gonna switch over to this one and let's try again. So let's add the toes. I hope it's reading as toes. I'm not quite sure. And now I'm just gonna do the foot. So the big part of the foot is over here. The little indent that I made is actually working quite well. Like it's giving a good shape. I just need to like paint it. And I'm sorry if I'm silent for most of the design, but I do like to focus and like hold my breath. Okay, oh my god, you guys, that looks super cute. It looks super cute in real life. I don't know how it's reading on camera, but it does look like a footprint in real life. So I am gonna continue with that. So this is the foot, so I'm walking like boop, boop, and then I'm gonna do the fingers or the toes. I think that's 5. Kind of looks goofy, I'm not gonna lie, but I do like how it looks. It does give the impression that I wanted. So I am gonna leave it like this, but to coat everything, I am going to dilute some top coat, and I'm going to do it with some nail thinner. And I'm going to like kind of like drop some of that mixture on top of the nail because I do want to seal the sand in, because if I do this, some of it will eventually fall off and I don't want it to like scrape off and completely go away. But I'm really happy with how it looks so far, and I'm gonna leave it on the side. So all we have for this hand is the watermelon charms, and I'm gonna do them right now. And it's pretty simple. It's just like rectangles. It's just like triangles, and I'm gonna like curve the top of the triangle or like the bottom of the triangle to form like the rinds of the watermelon, and I'm gonna do that in a minute. So let me get my supplies and I'm gonna come right back. Okay, now that we're done with the first hand, I'm gonna move on to the second hand, and I've placed all of the tips. So what I'm gonna do now is just file these like pointy tips out, and I'm going to paint the base colors for each nail. Okay guys, these are all of the base colors done. I kind of went over this one with a darker blue, and I don't know where I put it, I just used it right now, but I wanted to make this one a bit darker than it was because this was the original base color and kind of wanted it to look a bit darker than the bottle. So I just went over the first coat that I added with a darker blue color, and for the thumb, I'm gonna pop the design on the side over here, and you can see that there's like a sandy beach on the bottom. So I want to do that by using the same technique I used for the pinky on the other hand, where I just painted the shape that I want and then I dipped it into the sand. So I'm gonna do that right now. This is what it looks like with the sand on the bottom, and I added like a very thin layer of top coat just to keep the sand in there and it doesn't like rub away. So what I can work on now is the sky and the sea, and I'm gonna keep the picture on the side for you guys over here so you can see it as I paint. And I'm going to do this in a time lapse so you can enjoy and so that I can figure out how to do it without you guys hearing me struggle. So let's just enjoy. Okay, this is how the thumb turned out, and I went over the umbrella part with some 3D gel just so it can match the level of the stick that I added. And we can move on from the thumb, and I'm gonna jump over the pointer and I'm gonna go to the middle finger because it's gonna be a bit easier because I'm just gonna have a charm on, and I'm gonna make the charm out of clay. And this is the reference nail that I have. It has an octopus tentacle, and I'm gonna make that out of clay, like the polymer clay that I always use. Let's get started. Okay guys, here's how the tentacle looks. I kind of made like a harsh gradient from black to brown to this like lighter brown or like beige, and then I went over with my 3D gel and I heightened the, I guess they're suckers. So I like added some height to the suckers, and then I went over with some eyeshadow to give this pearlescent effect. And I'm thinking of adding some pearls on the sides here because I feel like it's a bit empty. So I'm gonna be using these pearls. I'm just gonna be using some normal nail glue to do this. And then I'm gonna grab my brush and lick it a little bit so I can grab the pearls. I think I'm happy with how this looks actually. So this is what the final nail is gonna look like. What's left now is to just top coat it, but I'm gonna do that at the end. So I do want to jump over the ring finger again, and I'm gonna go to the pinky finger because we're gonna have this design, and it's gonna be like a purple spiral background with like a starfish on top. And you guys have seen the picture of the starfish. I'm just gonna put the picture over here. That is the starfish that I'm gonna make. So I am gonna use the same clay that I used for this tentacle, and I'm gonna make the starfish. And I'm gonna first paint the background obviously, and then I'm gonna go in and glue the starfish on. If it comes out to one piece, I am gonna paint it first and then glue it on. So let me make the starfish right now, and I'm gonna let it bake in the oven while I paint the spiral. Here's how the pinky looks after all of the spirals. I did a first spiral with this dark purple, and then I went under it with a lighter purple, and then above it I went with like a light coat of the glittery blue. Wait, I'm gonna show you guys the blue that I used. I used this blue with the purples, and I think it looks really cute. I think the colors look super cute together. So now it's time to paint our little starfish. So this is how it came out. I think what I'm gonna do is actually add it on the nail and then paint paint it on the nail. And I'm gonna be using my 3D gel to do so. And I think, well, I actually molded it to the nail so it would stick like this. And I didn't want it to be too big to hide most of the spiral, but it is hiding the center, and that's not an issue. So let me just glue this on and we can come right back to painting it. This is how the starfish turns out, and I added some golden metal balls on each arm, and it looks super cute. I love the color combination of purple and orange and yellow, and I did top coat it because I was kind of worried about the balls falling off and like chipping away the golden color. So I did top coat it, and I'm gonna set it back. So now we can go back to the pointer finger, and for the pointer finger I want to paint this picture of this crab holding a little fish. I think it's a sardine actually. I'm not quite sure, but I really like this picture. I think it's really cute. So I do want to paint it on the nail, and I am going to leave the background transparent. I'm going to paint everything on, and it's no problem that it's like kind of blurry right now or like kind of frosted, because when I add a top coat on top of everything and on the bottom of the nail. So let's just get started. Okay, so this is how the crab turned out. It looks super cute. I guess it looks a little bit derpy because I had to like paint a lot of detail on a small scale, but I really love how it looks. And I went ahead and top coated the top of the nail. So the last nail that we have right now is the ring finger, and I'm gonna pop the sketch that I made for it. It's gonna be like a manta-ray on the nails. I'm gonna try and make it as close to the reference as possible. Like I have an actual reference pic other than my sketch, and let's get started. Okay guys, here's how the ring finger turned out. It looks super cute, and I also added some mermaid pearls to act like bubbles under the water. And I tried to add some water texture on the side with the 3D gel to like act as the waves. And I top coated it, so we are all done with this nail. So this is what the left hand looks like. And I really love how it came out. I love like the creature theme, like it's the beach, and then when you go down you see all of these creatures. And I'm gonna try them on so I can show you guys how they look on my hand. Okay guys, I have the nails on and they look super cute. As usual, I'm gonna pop like a video of the nails so you can see them closer and you can have a better look at them. But they look so good. I'm so happy with the designs that I chose, and I love the theme. Like I love how one hand is more of a beachy vibe, and then another hand is more of a like sea vibe. And I'm really happy with how they turned out. Honestly, I don't know, when I looked at the sketch and when I made the sketch originally, I was not sure how I'm gonna make it come to life, but I'm really glad with how it came together. And I hope you guys also enjoyed the process and enjoyed the video with me. So don't forget to comment what nail you like the most, and comment more ideas that you want to see in the future. Like the video if you enjoyed watching, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel and turn the notification button on, because I upload every Friday and I'm trying to get a regular schedule going on.
So keep the notification bell turned on so you can be updated whenever I upload anything. And check out my community posts on my Instagram because I post a lot of sneak peeks and some pictures in between sets. And that's all for today. So I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Bye!